This is one of the many chilling stories in Joy News' latest Hotline documentary, Crushed, by Seth Kwame Boateng. And that story is coming up on the 12th of April. Now, the year 2021 is just a little over 3 months, and already the country has recorded 771 deaths from road accidents alone. In simple terms, 8 people died from road accidents daily between January and March. That's the latest statistics released by the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Police Service. Now, the fear is that if this is not stopped, the country will record deaths from road crashes in the thousands by the end of the year. The police MTTD has today deployed more men across the country to strictly enforce road regulations. Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng is director in charge of the education and training of the MTTD. He is on the phone with me right now. Sir, thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon. The statistics are very worrying. Are there any reasons or are there any causes that you identified for these statistics?
Thank you very much. Once again, our deepest condolences to loved ones that have lost their compatriots, and we also want to use the opportunity to wish about the 4,200 injured speedy recovery. Having said that, I think we all recall, for example, last month, the incidents that occurred at Serichikura between Opede and Tamale, and also at Chimasafo between Abidjan and then Zutem, among other crashes that we registered. And we also recall that said that with any 100 deaths on our road this year or since last year, always about 45 to 48 are attributed to motorcycle-related injury, and all other road user class also contributing. And we've also indicated that apart from increase in discipline among motorists, we've also seen that the challenges on our road have been contributing either areas that are supposed to be dualized and are not, and head-on collision are occurring, and also broken down vehicles that are left there ages and people crashing there, among others, because of also inadequate towing equipment and all that. So it has been happening, and of course, we've also been warning and detecting and warning Ghanaians about excessive speeding, unlawful overtaking, and all others, including pedestrian-related ones like in towns where people are jaywalking, and also dangerous use of motorcycles.
Right. So I see there are various issues that you have highlighted as the reasons, or the causes of the accidents that we've recorded so far. We're told that today you have deployed more men out there. What exactly are they going to be looking out for, and what exactly will they be doing that's expected to deal with this problem?
I think that we have said that because if you look at, for example, our data, January to March, our deployment have led to detection and arrest of 710 road offenders, with 612 already been convicted by the court, with 6 in jail, and so far over 322,000 Ghana cedis court fines imposed on those who committed varying offences. And for us, we have sustained it, and we have deployed our accident prevention squad and other traffic police enforcement teams to look out and use our evidence gathering devices to detect and arrest speeding drivers, those who leave vehicles unattended on our road without warning signs and other reflective materials. For motor riders who were running red light and not stopping at junctions and are not in protective clothing, and those who are having vehicles and facing oncoming vehicles and partaking in cabs and all that, and generally incompetent drivers who are untrained without licenses and all that. And this, we are doing it together with our major stakeholders. And of course, we think that it's not only stringent enforcement that will solve this problem. We also need to garnish it with the management awareness creation and sensitization using the resources of multimedia and other media houses that are available.
Right. Well, Superintendent, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I'm hoping that with this, we'll be able to deal with the problem somehow. Thank you for your time. Superintendent Alexander Obing, he's with the MTTD, Director of Education and Research. Now, speaking about accidents, one person has died in another road accident at Afonkwanta in Kumasi on Wednesday. The driver of a Mercedes-Benz bus loaded with goods is said to have lost control due to a brake failure. The vehicle overturned, killing the 45-year-old driver, Idrisu. His assistant, who sustained injuries, is receiving treatment at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Here is an eyewitness's account.
I came with him this night from Accra. His vehicle's brake failed at Afonkwanta here. That is what resulted in the accident.
Benz bus container driver no the Idrisu.
The driver's name is Idrisu, 45 years of age. He died instantly, but his mate suffered injuries and has been rushed to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital.
That's an eyewitness's account of what happened there. Now, stranded from 3 students of the Nalirugu Senior High School say they have been denied food on campus. They're asking for help to travel back home. Now, on Tuesday, the Ghana Education Service rescheduled the reopening for senior high school from 3 students to May 5. In a Facebook post, it said that this was after management considered a proposal from the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS. The service said this applies to all Form 3 students that's in the single-track and double-track schools. In all other arrangements on the calendar, according to the GES, remained unchanged. Last month, the GES postponed the reopening for SHS freshers to March 18 through to March 21. Let's now listen to some of the students.
It is 7:00 p.m. and I'm here at the Nalirugu Senior High School, where I have come to follow up on the impact of the unexpected and totally confusing decision by education authorities to postpone the reopening of senior high schools for Form 3 students across the country. The students, some of who had traveled this morning from distant locations, were left stranded after they were told to go back home and return on the 5th of next month. One girl from Konongo in the Asante region broke down in tears after she was informed of the new arrangement. Some of them quickly returned, but others had complained of having no money to fare themselves back home. But tonight, the situation of these stranded students appeared to have worsened as they claim they have been denied food and left angry by authorities in the school. Sharifa is one of them from Boko in the Upper East region.
We just heard the news unexpected and we didn't trust it. We wanted to hear it from the headmaster. So when we came, we took breakfast in the morning, but they said it's compulsory for us to go back home and come back on the 5th of next month. So lunch and supper we didn't take. We have to depend on our chop boxes, what we have. They said if we stay, we will not get anything from the dining hall.
This student from Bunkurgu said she had been on campus since Saturday, waiting for the start of teaching this week, only to be told to go back home.
I came here on Saturday. Where I'm coming from is very far. And for now, the news we heard is unexpected. I was not thinking that I'll come here and go back again. The money they gave me, it has finished. I used it for lorry fare. Now I don't have lorry fare to go back. I'm now there. And they said, if you're here, they'll punish us. Or if you're even there, by tomorrow we have to leave because we will not get food from the dining hall. They will not feed us. In the morning, we went for breakfast. The lunch, they said no, they won't serve us. Evening too, we didn't go for dining again. Now, they said it's compulsory for us to leave. So we are just going to manage and leave the campus.
Here is another student, Matilda from Tamale.
We have to pack and go home because they say if we stay on campus, we'll not be fed by the dining hall. Because we had made our mind that the day they have given to us, we have to come. And we came now, we made lorry fares and we came in. And now they are asking us to go back. Many of us here have no lorry fare again to go back. So then the news we heard is so bad because some of us, our places are far. We only took our breakfast, but lunch and supper was denied. And we have to go home because if we stay here, it means we will not get any food from the school dining hall. And we can also depend on our boxes because depending on your box alone may not be enough for you to complete the time.
A senior staff of the school who was with the students at the time of this interview declined to comment and only preferred to speak off record. Ilyasu Tanko reporting.
And we're back here in the studio. Now, even before authorities have a full understanding of what happened to the fishes that were washed ashore in some beaches in Accra, it emerged that residents living along the beaches have consumed some of the fishes. More than 60 dolphin look-alike mammals and large numbers of different species of fish washed ashore along the coast of Axim Bire in the Nzima East municipality of the Western region, Osu in the Greater Accra region and Keta in the Volta region over the weekend. Some residents living along the coastline who spoke to Joy News indicated that while some of these fishes ended up in homes, others ended up in the market. My colleague Asante is at the Osu Clote Beach and is joining me with more. Hello, Kwaku. What more have these residents been telling you about how these fishes ended up in their homes and on the market?
Right. Gifty, according to some of these residents who spoke to me when I came here, they woke up to find fishes washed ashore. And according to them, some of the fishes were actually alive and not dead. And so they did not know anything. They had not gotten any official information from authorities as to the fishes coming here being harmful or not. And so what they did was to pick some of these fishes, take them home, process them, and use them for food. A grandmom that I spoke here told me that she used some of the fish to prepare fufu and soup for herself and then her family. Some of them have actually smoked some of this fish and salted it, ready to use it for what is called momoni in the local parlance and all that. And so there's actually information that some of these fishes have already ended up in the market because there's not been so much tracing by officials to come here and try and have an idea who might have had the fish and where they might have sent the fish. And so as of here, since I've been here, they only told me that some AMA officials came here who they themselves actually took some of the fishes away. And so because they were left without any official information in terms of what exactly was going on, what they did was to consume the fish and also some of them selling them. While some of them were not ready and willing to go on camera, they've been trying to tell me that if they had any official information of a sort in terms of this not being tested and officials not having an understanding of what exactly caused this, they might not have taken it.
Do they have plans of now disposing of what they have now that they know what they know, or are they still going ahead?
Well, so I explained to some of them that officials are yet to test this and have an idea what exactly is wrong with these fishes and these dolphins, mammals that came up shore. But they say that they've already consumed it. Some of them say they have some of them in their fridge. And what they do is that if a fish is caught and then you put it in the fridge, what happens is that after some time, the fish will turn green. But some say they put the fish in the fridge for some days now, and the fish has not turned any color. And so they think that it is well, and it's something that, and and it's something that they can use. And so that is what they are looking at, and they do not have any plan for now to dispose them of.
Well, Kweku, before we go, I just wanted to find out if the fish that they have bears any of the signs that the FDA and state authorities have told us to look out for. You know, dark gills. Yes, Kweku, can you hear me? Hello, Kweku, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm asking whether you've seen any of these fishes and if they bear any of the signs that the FDA and other state officials have told us to look out for. Dark gills and eyes popping out and, you know, sometimes smelly.
Right. So as soon as I got here, a woman showed me a number of fishes that have been smoked and have also been salted and was just by the seashore under the sun drying. And so I tried to ask the woman where she got those fishes from. She told me it was part of the fishes that they picked from the seashore, and she's not ready to dispose them of. And because this fish has been fried, this fish has been salted, it is very difficult to look at it from its natural position to be able to know some of this indication that the FDA gave. But she tells me that this is part of the fishes that they picked from the seashore. And so I have no doubt about that. But the fish is just here and they are smoking it. And they are saying that in the next few days, they are intending to use it for food.
Interesting. Kweku, we wait for visuals of what you're seeing there to share that with us. Kweku Asante, there, my colleague there in Osu, checking out how some of the fishes that were washed ashore found themselves on the plates and also on the markets of people there. A 27-year-old Suleimana Abdul Samed alias Awuche, who was featured on Joy News as the tallest man in northern Ghana, is apparently suffering a medical condition which will have to be treated. Suleimana, originally of average height, sprouted within a short period in what his family suspects could be a case of gigantism, which causes abnormal growth, notably in height. Suleiman's aunt, Rukiatu Sali, explained they have not been able to send him to the hospital for several years now due to financial constraints. She spoke with Joy News' Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin after the story was aired last week.
Rukiatu Sali.
My name is Rukayatu Sali. I am not always happy to see Awuche in his current condition. When they gave birth to him, he was very handsome. But after he completed senior high school, he went to Accra. It was after he came back from Accra that these abnormalities occurred to him. Seeing Awuche in this condition causes me to cry every day. We need people to come to his aid to improve his condition, because empty hands cannot put out fire. You need to have water before you can put out the fire. For that matter, we are soliciting for your support to help him get good medication. As you can see, he cannot stand for long. He doesn't feel right at all. If I have to talk about Awuche's good deeds, we cannot finish them today. He is living well with me, and I am his auntie. His father and I share same father. He is a good man, I must admit. We call upon you to help us send him to a better health facility to get him medication.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin with that report there. Well, your help for him, if you do have, is welcome. And former President John Ajakum Kufuor is urging authorities to clamp down on activities of fraudulent traditional priests using the media to propagate a get-rich-quick message. His comment came on the back of the alleged killing of a 10-year-old boy by 2 teenagers at Kaswa for money rituals. Maxwell Agbapa is joining me from Kaswa with updates. Hello, Maxwell. Maxwell, run us through the very latest as you have it.
Okay, so I'm currently here at the residence of the deceased. We've had police officers from the national level and the division also here. There's a meeting ongoing between the family and the police officers. We are getting information also that the top brass from the central region is also heading here, so we're waiting for them to also arrive here. But we have here with us the Municipal Chief Executive for Ewutu Senya East, Michael Mensah. He's here and he will be joining us shortly. There's a clarification to make though. MC, I want you to make that clarification for us. This is the Gasout. This is Gasout, right? Yes. And you are the MC for Ewutu Senya East.
And for that matter, Kaswa.
And for that matter, Kaswa. Yes. But you have some concerns about how...
Yes, I want to thank you. I am not here just to set a record straight, because this is an issue that concerns human life. Okay. And we are all touched by it. But the issue here is that there's a jurisdictional confusion when it comes to district administration. This particular locality or location is Gasout. It is not part of Ewutu Senya East, and for that matter, it's not part of Kaswa as a jurisdiction. And so, because our name, Kaswa, has been associated with the crime, and we have received a lot of bashing in the media space, and it's as if everybody is concerned about Kaswa. I thought it was on grounds of compassion to come and say hi to the family and console them, and I also inform my regional minister to also come with me. And then from there, we can set the record straight. Some of these things are giving Kaswa a very bad publicity. That is not to say that some of these crimes are cross-jurisdictional crimes, or if you like, cross-boundary crimes.
And you're experiencing some kind of a spillover of what is happening in Gasout coming into Ewutu Senya.
It's because Ewutu Senya East, and for that matter, Kaswa, has gained notoriety in the past. So even albeit our hard work to stem the levels of crime, if it happens somewhere, we are still associated with it. And so I am here to also set that record straight, and also to offer my support to my brother in Gasout, so that whatever we need to do to ensure that we bring the brains, because if you look at the children, those who perpetrated the crime, these are people who are over the age of criminal liability. That is 12 years, they're over that. But then to be able to form that kind of menstrual at that level, I really do not think that these children of that age will be able to form that serious menstrual. And so I'm also here to offer my support. And then because when the incident happened, they reported at a police station within my jurisdiction. And so when the divisional commander called me, and he was like, hey, we have had these people from here, and that there's a need for us to send the suspects to the appropriate police. I told them no, because of the tension. If they were to transfer them to our month room, perhaps they will be lynched. And so once they were in Kaswa, they should detain them, and then. But police has no boundaries, so police can continue its work.
You are the head of music.
Yes, in the municipal. Not this area.
Okay, yeah. So we've talked about the spillover.
Yes.
Tell me, what really is the problem? Some of the people I've been interacted with here tell me that it's because of the influx of people they describe as foreigners here. What really is the problem?
Kaswa, I would say, is an epitome of West Africa. We have people, it's so cosmopolitan. Every tribe in West Africa has some people, in Kaswa. And then also, we have even people beyond West Africa. That is not to say that a crime like this nature should be attributed to the fact that the area is cosmopolitan. I strongly believe that this recent spate of rituals that are aired on TV and so on. It gives some kind of encouragement to the youth to develop the habit of get rich quick, irrespective of the means to even get there. However, I also believe that the children and the kind of crime they have committed, there should be somebody behind. And that is where I would want to offer my support to my brother in this jurisdiction so that we can look at that angle. Yes.
Okay. So here in Coca-Cola, for instance, you interact with people, you interact with young people, many of them unemployed, but they're really sometimes exposed to the lavish lifestyle of their friends and their colleagues. So for young people who are unemployed, for instance, so not just the influx of foreigners, but sometimes also unemployment can also lead young people to get into some of these things, frustrations with life and all of that. How do we hope to deal with these things?
Yes, you see, I must say that we cannot say there's not that factor of unemployment. There's also the issue of underemployment and so on and so forth. However, government is doing its best, and that is why there's also an encouragement for individuals to also, team up with government to employ people. We must also look at it from this angle that this age-old notion that you must be employed, a white-collar job, and so on, is also some of the things that are affecting us. We have also lost our religious values as family, because unemployment cannot be the sole explanation to commit such a heinous crime. You understand the point?
Exposure to fraudulent traditional priests and spiritualists.
Yes.
And we see quite a number of them actually advertising within your jurisdiction as well. When you drive down the streets, you see their notice boards and all of that. What is MUSEC doing about this?
No, if you pass through Kaswa, you wouldn't see that ritual things around. Usually they are located at outskirts of urbanized areas. Exactly. I am in a one-town municipality. I don't have villages where you find them. However, they advertise on mass media, and these children see. And this is something that the National Communication Authority must stamp its feet on, because we cannot get loose of our traditions and allow people to come and sit on. Some of them, they even chime money on live television, and they leave their numbers. And these students have access to mobile phones, so they're able to contact them, and then they do their own transactions.
Is that to say that you don't have some of them advertising on the streets in your jurisdiction?
No.
On electric poles and all of that?
No, okay, well, I can't say that on authority, but not to my attention.
Not to your attention?
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, assuming without admitting that is the case, what is MUSEC going to do about it?
Of course, my MUSEC at my level, we've been meeting. We've been looking at the dynamics. That is why if you have seen that the situation in Kaswa has gone down a lot, because of the way we've been trying to pragmatically put in place things as things situations evolve. So with this new development, there will be another way to also tackle it, and then it will be discussed at MUSEC and the necessary steps taken.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Can just jump in before you let him go. Maxwell, can you hear me? If I can just jump in, a question to the MCE before you go, because the signpost of ritualist or spiritualist or herbalist advertising is a well-known story. It's for real. Is he saying this is not happening in Kaswa?
Well, he's denying that. Yeah, he says in the Wutu Senior East that is not the case within his jurisdiction. He says if that is the case, it has not come to his attention. In fact, he was very emphatic and that is not the case of people.
We'll follow that up, Maxwell.
We'll follow that up. And he talked about it happening within the outskirts. Exactly. And that's why, we are here. So right from here, we'll take a drive through town and we'll find out if truly what the MC is telling us is the case. But ongoing right now, it's the meeting that I talked to you about earlier. So you can see the police officers in the meeting, family members of the deceased. They have been in that meeting for about an hour now. We're waiting for them to come out and give us an update on what the meeting has been about. We also hear that the regional minister, this information we're picking up, that the regional minister and the officers from the regional level are also coming here to see the family. But we've been interacting with people who live in this community. We've been finding out from them who the two suspects are, and they seem to be I mean, a lot of them seem to have some very uncomplimentary things to say about the two suspects. They tell us that one of the suspects is actually in SHS1. We are told that he was part of the first batch of people who reported to school just some days ago. So he's in SHS1. We are told that the other suspect also is in class 6. So far, that is the information that we are picking up. But many of the people we've been interacting with here are not forthcoming with information for fear of being implicated or being invited to help with investigations. Over to you, Gifty.
Very interesting part of that story being shared today. Maxwell, we'll come back to you on pause at 3 p.m. for more on this. Maxwell Agbagba there in Kaswa, where this 10-year-old boy has been killed. You're still watching Joy News Today. We'll take a very quick break. When I return, there's business news. Do stay with us. And you're welcome. Let's do some business now. Oxford University Professor Noel Tego says government's Ejapa royalties deal, which sparked some controversy, should not be cancelled but be subjected to a national debate. It's been 3 months now since the Ejapa royalties deal was suspended. But according to Professor Tego, the debate should look at the evaluation process, alternatives, and a possible mixture of financing national spending.
People collateralize their earnings all the time. So think about you having a pension. Okay, you can choose to take your pension every month after you retire, or you can choose to take your pension in a bulk sum, and you can choose to take your pension as a mixture, a bulk sum to start with, and then some annual earnings from that. A few things you need to think about when you're doing that. You need to make sure that the valuation is right. And the valuation depends on various kinds of assumptions. So for transparency's sake, make the assumptions known. And let's have a debate on that. That's number one, the valuation. Let's have a debate on that. Number two then is, what alternative means are there to raise funds? And how do they compare with this? Let's have a conversation about that. So then you have a portfolio or a mix of funding, some Ejapa-like funding, some just going on the commercial market to borrow, and so on. So that is number two in terms of that. Number three is that within what development framework are you collateralizing these things?
Would you say then that it's been suspended for now? Should we bring it back for a conversation?
Well, I think we need conversations broadly on financing that takes into consideration things like Ejapa, things like borrowing money, etc. If we have not been able to kind of expand our tax base. But what I'm saying is this, that once you put it within a framework and you say, okay, we're going to use it, let's say, to fund real infrastructure. How much, by how much? I mean, what real infrastructure, how much is it going to lift up GDP, all things being equal? And then when we fund, we've got to come back and do an impact assessment to say, this is what is happening. So I think, most people have not understood Ejapa, and some of the conversations that have taken place are really uninformed, this thing. But that's part of the suspicions and the banding of accusation back and forth. My understanding, limited understanding of the politics around Ejapa has been about conflict of interest of central players in government. Exactly. That should stop. It's just cure the conflict of interest. That's the easiest thing to do.
Professor Noel Tego there is an Oxford University professor. We'll take a break here. When we return, we've got, let's stay a short while on Professor Tego and some of the things that he's been saying. I beg your pardon, let's move from that. The Member of Parliament for Ejisu constituency has instituted a microfinance scheme to help startups in his constituency. This is part of efforts to deal with rising levels of poverty among the constituents. The Member of Parliament, John Kuma, believes that the program, together with other government initiatives, will wean some constituents of poverty. Nanaya Ojima has more in this report.
The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, or LEAP, is one of government's key programs to support the poor in society. The program provides cash transfers to poor households, including those with persons with disabilities and orphans. The 2021 budget statement increased beneficiaries to the program. Ejoso MP John Kuma has lauded the increment, but says his office will have to do more to help reduce poverty among constituents.
It cannot cover all of them, so we still have to do something within our own strength to help our constituents, the little that we can also add to what government is already doing under the LEAP program. And of course, those of them that can trade too, we have a special program that provide microfinancing. We give a minimum of 500 Ghana cedis to support the micro traders amongst them. So today is just a donation, but we have a number of economic programs that we engage them from time to time to support them with little finances so that they can also do their own business.
John Kuma there. That's it for business. Up next, we do sports.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the sports segment on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Midiama FC, they have reported Hearts of Oak coach Samuel Bodu and his assistant Hamza Oben to the Ghana Football Association for what they describe as unilateral termination of their contracts on Wednesday. The club say the decisions by the coaches is premature, hasty, arbitrary, unacceptable, and above all, abuse of office as an employee, and have caused irreparable harm and has had a negative impact on the overall performance of the team. The two-time FA Cup holders are seeking for substantial damages for what they described as arbitrary decision of the two coaches to abrogate their contracts with the club. Boadu, a former coach of Asoka Deportivo, resigned from the Mauve and Yellows in February and signed a permanent contract with Hearts of Oak a week later. Midiama, who have filed a case before the GFA Player Status Committee, is reported to have backed their case with legal justification for financial claims, citing multiple adjudication cases from FIFA and the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The Takwa-based club say the decision by the coaches Samuel Bodu and Hamza Oben are premature, hasty, arbitrary, unacceptable, and above all, abuse of office as an employee, and did not find it expedient and prudent to warn or complain to the club before taking the decisions. The club say the arbitral decisions have caused irreparable damage and has had a negative impact on the overall performance of the team. Midiama also insists the damage done physically and psychologically to the club due to the sudden and planned departure of the two coaches cannot be explained and are now seeking for residual value in damages. Bodu's assistant Hamza Oben also quit his role at the club on March 16 but joined his boss at Hearts of Oak a week later. Bodu spent 3 years at Midiama before he was joined by his assistant Hamza Oben, who spent 2 years at the club. Joy Sports sources say Samuel Bodu's decision to resign from Midiama FC was as a result of anticipation that he was going to be fired by the club. Sources within the management and technical team had indicated to Joy Sports that there was a planned decision to replace Samuel Bodu after Midiama's poor start to the new Premier League season. From Takwa, now let's go to Kumasi. Asante Kotoko head coach Mariano Barota, he says that he has a group of players and not a team. According to him, the players available are talented, but they must become a unit to win laurels for the team.
Against 11 Wonders on match day 18 of the Premier League. The Porcupine Warriors will face Bechem United in an outstanding fixture on Wednesday at the Obuasi Lenklin Stadium, their new venue after management relocated from the Accra Sports Stadium. Barrett, who has been in charge since taking over as first-team head coach last month, says he currently has a group of players and not a team and will concentrate on the strength at his disposal.
The strategy in Kotoko is first we solve our problems, because if you are losing time looking the others, we will continue the same shape. The same shape is living with difficulties. So we have to first solving the problems we have, and this is why the players are working hard, trying to build a team, try to build, as I told, I saw that we have talent. We have some very interesting players. We have players in national team. So in this position we are well. The problems is become after that because first injuries, second we lost our striker, third the new players who are coming, they have to get the routines and try to build a team, because what we need is build a team, because players I think we have. We need build a team.
Some players, notably Christopher Nete and Nabi Keita, are unavailable for the game against Bechem United. Barreto believes it is an opportunity for other players to prove they deserve the chance to play.
And that is data for sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Kotoko will play Bechem United at 3 p.m. later today. The news continues, but up next is Showbiz.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, Nigerian R&B singer Praise Opede Adejo, popularly known as Praise, has revealed how he wants to impact the world with his music. The multiple award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer said in an interview on E-Vibes that he wants his music to get people through hard times.
So I like to make music from a point of view that everyone can relate.
Okay.
I can sing, I'm going to the club, popping 100 bottles, I could sing that. But how many, I mean, everybody wants to live that life in the sense that they want to be successful, that they could live that life. But in the reality, how many people can relate to what you're saying? You know? So when I make music, I like to make music that people can relate to. If I'm writing a love song, I like to write songs that when you hear, I know what he's talking about, I've been there. You know, and I've been blessed to get messages, a lot of messages from people to say, yo, your song got me through this time. You know, and for me that's success. For me that's everything. That's what I want. You know, I want my music to be able to get you through hard times. You know, so that's it for me.
And that'll be all for me as well. There's more news at myjoyonline.com. We have some of the very big stories there. You want to log on and read the chilling details of how 2 teenagers murdered a 10-year-old at Kaswa. There's a top story there. You want to click on that story and share it with your contacts as well. My name is Gifty Andopia. I'm back at 3 p.m. with The Pulse. Bye-bye for now.